Come, step back in time with me. I'm a 25-year-old, titanium-plated, airline transport-rated pilot with around 5,000 flight hours, and I can control the world. I'm in awesome shape, a great swimmer, and after years of working, I'm on my first vacation in Egypt. I'm in full scuba gear in the gorgeous waters of the Red Sea, and I should be having fun. But I'm not. Things aren't working. I'm tiring. A part of me is outside watching, and I can't believe it. This isn't happening. I am panicking. And the panic could put my life at risk. This feels horrifyingly awful. After, back on the boat, I find the event has shaken me to my core. I can't tell anyone that this happened. How would they ever trust me as their captain? How can I trust myself? I don't ever want to feel this way again. In the years since, I've found what happened that day, and I understand the difference between panic and survival in much clearer ways. That's because I've interviewed lots of people and investigated events, both in aviation and elsewhere, where life-critical, serious conditions existed. I know what makes the difference now between those that do well in an emergency and those that do not. And I'm going to share that with you today. I'm going to give you those tips that will make you self-reliant and able to handle a situation like that. I know why I don't panic on board an aircraft now, because I know what to do. I haven't got time for my mind to worry and to be afraid. The same thing happens in all professions that train for safety. We get past the fight or flight or freeze to faith. Faith in our own abilities and our knowledge. That faith and confidence in your own ability is key to your survival. I'm going to share with you the things that will ensure that you get out alive. We're going to go through the techniques on board an aircraft that will make sure that you survive a disaster like that, should such a rare thing ever happen to you. But more importantly, how those same skills will help you day to day in your life, and they'll help you survive elsewhere as well. In addition to being an airline pilot, I've been trained as a flight attendant, and I've trained them as well. Did you know that flight attendants look for people on board their aircraft called ABPs, able-bodied passengers? These are the people that they will use to help them in an emergency, the ones that can be counted on to get out alive. Now, they're not looking for the great big muscled burly folks. They're looking for those that are aware. The ones that did things that you might think make you look silly. The flight attendant knows it isn't silly, it's survival. They look for the ones that paid attention to the announcement and the demonstration, took out the safety features card and read it, checked under their seat for their life jacket, looked around and noticed the location of the emergency exits. That situational awareness is a skill. You can develop it. You can use it every day. So, where is your exit from this room? Okay. Where is your alternate exit? You've been checking. That's good. Every flight, you can use the safety demonstration or announcement to increase your situational awareness and your knowledge. It's worth the time for you to put down your cell phone or your reading material, pause, watch, listen, think. Let's go through a few of the points that are in a safety announcement. And we'll start with the one that most everyone rolls their eyes at. The seatbelt. Let me guess what you think when that flight attendant shows you how to open and close the seatbelt. Why do they bother to explain something so basic? Because the buckle is different than the one you use every day on your car. When the flight attendant shows you to lift that flap, it increases the chances that you'll remember how to open it. Without that recent reminder, you might find yourself pushing and pushing for the release button that you're used to. That's a recipe for panic. What does that mean in other areas of your life? Stop dismissing what experts outside your field are saying. They aren't just blathering to hear their own voice. They are trying to help. What are you ignoring that people around you know is important, but you aren't hearing? Stow your cabin baggage and leave it behind if you have to evacuate the aircraft. On the safety features card, you'll notice there's a red line through the luggage on your routes for escape from the aircraft. None of this is worth your life. What does that mean elsewhere in your life? Do you know that peace and joy lives inside you, not inside your stuff? What are you dragging around that's weighing you down? Are you sacrificing your life for something that you should be letting go of? The life jacket is located under the seat or in the armrest next to you. Which is it? Do you check? Do you look? Do you feel for it? The time to look for what it is that's going to support you is before you need it or them. In your own life, have you recently checked your support system and network and made sure it's there or they are ready? Traveling with children. If you have ever traveled with a lap-held infant, you know that the flight attendant will come around before departure and tell you about how to hold that child properly for takeoff and landing. The actual way to safely hold a child is in a seat. Every human being from age 0 to adult should be in a seat. Purchase that seat. There are places where saving money doesn't put a life at risk, and others where it does. In your life, when you're making cost-cutting decisions, double check that it isn't somewhere critical. The flight attendant points to the emergency exits. They're drawn on the safety features card. Do you look for your closest exit? Do you count the rows? Do you look for all of the other exits? That is true situational awareness. Where am I with respect to all my escape routes? And what will I do if the first one doesn't work? In life, have a plan A, a plan B, a plan whatever, and the ability to let go when your favorite plan isn't working. I've saved this one for last because in life, it's my personal nemesis. The flight attendant says, put your own mask on first, then assist others. Why? Because if you don't, you'll pass out. And then you're no good to anyone. You become the burden. In life, what does this mean? Looking after yourself first is key. You can't help anyone once you're out of the game. Looking after myself first is something that I struggle with to this day. One of the luckiest things that ever happened to me was about 15 years ago. A whole lot of things were coming apart at the seams in my life. My marriage, health of various family members, changes in my job, etc., etc., etc. But at the same time, I was part of a team that was teaching a bunch of material on stress management. So what happened was every couple of weeks, I had to review the tips and techniques that I was going to be teaching, which reminded me to use them myself. Imagine taking every flight as an opportunity to tune up your situational awareness, both on the aircraft and for you personally in life. Remember back when we started? And I told you about me, the titanium-plated professional pilot that was panicking in the water. I went on to learn more about scuba diving and my equipment, and I got past that. You can too. Past the fear that could cause you to fight, to flee, or to freeze, and on to faith in yourself and your own abilities. So the next time you're taking a flight, look at it as an amazing opportunity. The flight attendant is going to help you remember key survival points for getting out of the aircraft alive. If you work with that flight attendant, they'll help you keep your knowledge at that faith level. And then you can use the flight to reflect on how you're doing in the rest of your life. Are you listening to the experts' warnings and knowledge that's around you? Are you letting anything drag you down that you should be letting go of? Have you recently checked your own support system and made sure that it's there? Are you making good cost-cutting decisions? Or are you shorting yourself and others in critical areas? Have you got an escape route and a second plan for when that doesn't work? And finally, are you looking after yourself before anyone or anything else? Every flight, just those few minutes for your whole life. Thank you.